I passed. You guys, I passed. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Agozim. If this is your first time of seeing my face, my name is Chiagozim Ezigwe. On this channel I share immigration tips, lifestyle content, anything that comes to mind that I know that my viewers would enjoy. I bring them to you guys firsthand. If this is the kind of content you're looking for, even if this is not the kind of content you're looking for, please do well to click on the subscribe button you see below. And like I said, you are not going to regret it. Thank you guys for coming back and thank you for stopping by. From the title of this video, I'm sure you already know why we are here. If you did not read the title, let me just say it out, okay? I, Chiagozim Ezigwe, passed my nursing board exam in one sitting. Guys, see, I am super pumped. I know some of you, this may not be the first time you're hearing this news. If you follow me on Instagram, and if you don't follow me on Instagram, please go follow me on Instagram because I be on my story yapping all the time. See, if you do not follow me on Instagram, that's where, like, some things I just cannot hold this. I just like really share it on my Insta story and life just keeps moving. But for this news, I know how far you guys have been with me all through my nursing journey. I thought it worthy for me to come on here and give you guys the gist. If you follow me on Instagram, you may have heard that I passed my nursing board exam, okay? So let me stop yapping and let's get down to how I passed the exam. So let me take you guys a bit back. A day after my graduation, I paid for my temporary license. I think I've talked about this before in my last video or my last two videos. Because when you finish school, when you finish from nursing school, you have to pay for the main license, the main exam, before you can be able to have access to your temporary license. So I paid for that exam a day after my graduation. I paid a total of $1,000 for the big exam. When I paid for the exam, I did not book the exam. I was like, okay, you guys need to let me rest. I'm coming from a lot. Actually, I was coming from a lot. Final exams to preceptorship, from preceptorship to graduation. I went back to work. Like, it was just so much stress. So I was like, I'm not really ready to write the big exam yet. I just need to like get my temporary license first, relax, and just like go back to the drawing board and try to know how I can just organize myself so that I can write this exam in one sitting and pass it at once. Because see, there's no failure in my DNA. I cannot fail, okay? So I just wanted to like get myself prepared. So that's the gist I wanted to give you guys first. So after I booked the exam, I got my temporary license. So it was time for me to book the date, pick a date for my exam. So I was supposed to actually write this exam in July, if I'm correct. I was supposed to write this exam in July, but at the time, I just did not. I was looking for another job while I had my first nursing job. I was working full-time. I was very, very busy, and I just could not bring myself to start studying again for the exam. I knew I was going to study at some point, but I just could not. I just wanted to work as a nurse with my temporary license for a bit. On the other hand, I knew I didn't want to hold that temporary license for a very long time. So I gave myself a timeline that I must write either the first window or the second writing window. For the board exam, it's written 3 times a year. So there are 3 writing windows: the first quarter, the second quarter, and the last quarter of the year. So for me, I was supposed to write at the second quarter, but it did not work out for me because I wasn't ready for the exam, okay? So what happens is that whenever you decide to move your exam from the writing window you booked for to another writing window, you have to pay $100 to move your exam. So I was scheduled to write this exam in July, and to be very honest with you, I was not prepared to take this exam at that time because I was working full-time. I got my first nursing job. On the side, I was still looking for another job because I wasn't comfortable at that job. So a lot was just happening at the same time, and I could hold a temporary license up to a year. So I told myself I'd like to settle down on the job that I like first, then plan myself, then take this exam. So most of my friends from nursing school, they wrote the exam at that window that we all booked for, and when their results came out, they kept on texting me, hey, I passed. I was like, well, I've not written the exam yet. And some of them were like, why didn't you take the exam? I said, I'm not ready to write it now. And this boils down to knowing your capability. It, like, I did, because okay, I knew studying for that exam at that time when all these things were happening to me, and also health wise I wasn't really okay, like I wasn't so strong at the time. So I just knew my capability. I knew that at that time, if I had included studying for this board exam into everything that was going on in my life at the time, I was going to break down. So I told myself, you know what, I'm going to move this exam to another writing window. And for me, I did not mind paying that 100 Canadian dollars, because that 1,000 Canadian dollars that I paid for that exam was a gift from my sister for my graduation. And honestly, if you know, like, when someone gives you something or when someone pays for an exam for you, I'm sure you would, apart from making yourself proud, but I was just out to make my sister proud. I was just out to just make us proud. I mean, me, myself, and my family. I just wanted to do the exam and be very, very successful in it. Writing it 2 times was just not in my dictionary, because I cannot fail. Okay, so that was why I had to move the exam to another writing window. Okay, now I'll give you guys the background why I did not write it at the time I was supposed to write it, why I moved it. So I moved it to September to write it. Okay, I moved it to September, guys. I was still doing what I was doing prior to that. My health will go this. It was just so much going on at that time. So I knew I was going to write the exam in September, but I wasn't just ready to write it in September. I don't know if that makes sense. I'll talk to my best friend Ada, and I'll be like, Ada, I don't think I'm ready for this exam. She'll be like, pay another $100, move it to another window until you're ready to write this exam. You can hold your license up to a year. And I was like, I don't want to hold a temporary license up to a year. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm just operating on a temporary license. I want the real thing. I want my license. I want to operate with my permanent license. She was like, you don't feel ready for this exam, move the exam. I said no. So what I did at the time was I was still doing my old job. So whenever I go to work and whenever I'm on break, I usually go with my books. I would study and I would look into like some questions, and some questions I would solve at the time. I would be getting like, let's say I was scoring like 45% on the questions. I'm like, I'll feel so disappointed in myself. I'm like, because you just finished nursing school, why are you not getting all these questions? Like, you graduated with a very good result, you should know this, you should know that, you should know that. I'm like, I was so scared for no reason. I was so scared for no reason. Like, thinking about it just like makes me feel emotional. I'm like, are you really ready to write this exam in September? August, we entered August. I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready to write this exam. I don't know if I'm ready to write this exam. At the back of my mind, I was like, okay, I'm going to book this exam. I'm going to pick a date, I think my plan was to pick 31st of September to write this exam. The clock was ticking, time was going, everything was happening. I was working full time. I barely had time to rest. I felt overwhelmed, and I had to leave Instagram. Just to like put my life in order, to study for my exam. I had to like limit communication with some people. I had to do a lot of things just to bring my concern, because I feel like I was so distracted. I had to draw my mind back, and I had to ask myself some questions. Girl, this is unlike you. When I did write this exam, one day I got pissed off about like a couple of things happening at the time, and I told myself, you know what, I'm going to channel this anger to study for my exam. And for me, I work best when I'm upset. I don't know, whenever I'm upset, that is when I begin to produce results. Like what I've been procrastinating for a very long time, boom, I've already done it. So that evening when I got back from work, I took my computer, I entered my kitchen. I think I was cooking or something. I put my laptop on my counter, plugged it in, went to the email that the board sent me to pick a date. I picked a date. So when I went on there was no 31st of September. There was just 25th of September, 24th of September, and 23rd, like the earlier days. I was like, okay, I'm going to pick the last day I saw on there, and I picked 25th of September. I had to set a timer on my phone that every single day it would like tell me, okay, you have few days to your board exam, you have few days. It was just counting that for me automatically. And I was like, I have to study for this exam. Then that was when the real studying started. I started reading. So I had like, I think I booked my exam on the 8th of September and I was going to write it on the 25th of September. So that was when the real thing started. I was like, it dawned on me that I'm writing this exam on the 25th and I have to do everything possible to pass this exam, which means I have to study my eyes off to pass this exam. I have a cheat sheet here to remind me everything I want to say in this video. So if you see me looking down, just now I'm looking at my cheat sheet. The next thing I want to talk about is how long it took me to prepare for this exam. I'm not going to deny the fact that prior to me booking the date, I was actually studying for this exam. During my break time, whenever I go in for night shift, I will study. When I'm home, I would watch a couple of YouTube videos. I would watch videos of my favorite nurse YouTubers like Nurse Sarah, Nexus Nursing. I would listen to them. In short, you know, even when I go to the gym, instead of me to listen to music, I'll be listening to some nursing videos, okay? And that kind of like put me in that mood to get ready for this exam. So it took me roughly, I can't really say, let's say give and take, it took me like 6 weeks to prepare for this exam, but in the real sense it took me 2 weeks, because those other times I thought I was preparing for this exam. When I went through the study guide of what I was supposed to cover for the exam, this was like 2 weeks before the exam, I knew I hadn't even studied anything. So I had to strategize. So what I did was that I had to make a study plan for myself, and I told myself that every single day I have to cover so and so topic. That was how long it took me to prepare for this exam. If that makes sense, I would say 6 weeks from the time I started like clumsily started preparing, but 2 weeks of intense study. That was after I had already picked the date I would write the exam. Okay, that's how I'm going to put it. On the day of the exam, did I tell you guys this exam is written at home? So you write this exam at home. It is proctored. Proctored means that you have an online invigilator watching you. You have to make sure the room is clear. There's no room for cheating. In short, you video everything. Even if it means they're videoing your heart of hearts. They'll tell you to record what is going on in your heart. Or they'll tell you to video your mind, everything going on in your head. They'll ask you to record it. So you have to like make a video of your environment while the invigilator is live, obviously watching you. They'll tell you to do this, do that. For me, before the exam started, I was sitting on my sofa. But when she told me to like move my laptop around for her to like see everywhere, she told me I should get up from my sofa, I should move to a table. So I had to move to my reading table to take the exam, okay? The whole place was clear. If you've ever been to my apartment before, I always have sticky notes on my wall. I took off all the sticky notes, took off everything just to write this exam. So the exam had 165 questions and the exam was for 4 hours. To be very honest, if you know me well, I don't like reading for a very long time, like especially for exams. Sitting down reading a lot of questions for a very long time can be very, very tiring. And another thing is that you can take breaks in between, like during the exam. But the thing is, if you take a break and go to the washroom to pee or to do whatever and you come back, you have to record your environment again. And let me tell you, your time will not be possible for you to go and pee. No, the time is going as you're peeing and as you're doing the whole recording. So prior to the exam, I ate well, I peed, I emptied my bladder, I made sure that there was nothing that would carry me to get up from my seat to go to the washroom or to do anything. So the exam took 4 long hours. And the questions on the test, to be very honest, some of the questions were, no, not even some, most of the questions were so long, like you read like 6-7 lines of questions, then the options, jeez, I got tired of reading. When I got to, I think I know when I started getting tired. I think when I got to question, let's say question 115 or 112, at that time I was already getting burnt out. I was tired of sitting down. My back was aching, my bone was aching. I was tired of reading. My eyes were turning red because I was sitting very close to my computer. My eyes are photosensitive. I went to insert a video of how I felt prior to writing the exam and how I felt after writing the exam. Okay, you guys should not even laugh at me. After writing the exam, I was like, God, I beg. It felt like the questions were, some questions seemed easy. It was a lot of critical thinking questions, multiple choice. You have to choose the most appropriate out of all of them. A lot of priority questions, a lot of questions on myocardial infarction, a lot of questions on diabetes, a lot of questions, general questions, communication questions, a lot of, oh my god, a lot of questions, a lot of cardiac questions. So after the exam, I was like, God, I don't want to fail this exam. Oh God, I don't want to fail this exam. I was like, God, see this period as I'm waiting for this result, if someone slaps me on this cheek, I'll turn this cheek for them. Trouble should avoid me. Anybody that's looking for trouble, please avoid me, because I'm not interested. So after writing the exam, it takes 6 weeks for the results to be published. You see, that 6 weeks was the longest 6 weeks of my life. It felt like 6 centuries. It was so long. Every time I'll be monitoring my email, because mind you, I told you that my friend wrote on the 24th and I wrote on the 25th. The questions were different. The questions that these people have, like a huge question bank, very huge question bank. So after the our exams, we started waiting. I mean my friend and I, we started waiting. I'll pray and pray. I'm like, God, please help me. If I pass this exam in one season, I'm going to get myself new work shoes. I'll get myself scrubs from Figs. I'll get myself Lululemon backpack. I'll get this. I'll get that. I'll start feeling like a nurse. I told myself, if I pass this exam, I'm going to give something to someone special in my life, or to like give something to someone that really needs something. Like, I just made a lot of promises to God. I'm going to give arms to someone that really needs help. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this for my mom. I'm going to do, like, I was so eager to pass this exam. God, it was a lot. I would go to work every time. I'm just like, I remember one question I answered. I remember one question from the exam. I'll be like, hey, it's like, I failed this question. Or I'll carry my textbook, I'll open it, I'll start looking for the answer. I'm like, God, I hope I don't fail this exam. I hope I not fail this exam. And this was my heart to just do boom, 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 boom. I hope I not fail this exam. 6 weeks came to an end. So the results came out after my birthday. I think 2 days after my birthday. I think on the 22nd or the 23rd. I can't remember. My birthday was on the 20th of October. One day I was at work. My friend called me. I did not see the call. So on my way back, I called her, but she was like, have I seen this? I was like, seen what? She was like, the result is out. I was like, the result is out. She was like, yes, I should go and check that she passed. I was like, okay. I sat on my couch in my living room. I turned on my laptop. My laptop was taking so long to power. I'm going to insert a video of how long it took me. It took my laptop. I'm going to show you guys my reaction. How I reacted when I saw my results. Okay, you guys, I have my laptop here. I'm just going to sign into my account. It's loading, you guys. Jesus Christ, my heart is. If you check my blood pressure now, guys, it's 7 degrees. But I'm sweating. You guys, I don't know what is going on here, but finally my laptop decided to load. It's loading again. I passed. You guys, I passed. Status. Can you guys see? Which song am I going to play? I feel so proud of myself, genuinely. I feel so grateful. God saw me through nursing school. I did not fail any course. I finished, graduated with honors, wrote my board exam in fear. I was so scared. That was like a very bad time in my life. I was stressed. Everything was going on. Then I already started this my new job. So working and studying, and I passed. Finally, when my laptop came on, I checked it and I saw that I passed. That was like one of the happiest days of my life. I felt so happy. I felt so grateful. I was super grateful. Super grateful. I called my loved ones. I told them that I passed. I sent my sister a message. I was so happy. I was so happy that I passed the exam. I'm like, my hard work paid. I was super grateful to God for making me pass my nursing board exam. So your girl now has her permanent license. I'm not operating on temporary license, and I got this license with all my life because I worked so hard for it. Okay, so your girl is now a licensed nurse in Canada. Okay, flips hair. Okay, I worked so hard for this license, and I'm super grateful to God for it. Final part of this video, let me tell you guys how I prepared for this exam. I have my cheat sheet here, like I said. Now the truth is that it's easier to pass this exam when you're already working as a nurse. I even wrote it down here, because when you're already working as a nurse, you've already started building critical thinking, you've already started building communication, working with a multidisciplinary team. You're working with a dietitian, you're working with a doctor, you're working with other nurses, you're working with the physio, you're working with almost everybody. Like, it's a team. Okay, we are all working as a team. You're already speaking to family members of the patient, you're already working with everybody. So it's kind of like sharpening your brain communication wise. You built your art pie, your skills in nursing processing is coming to light. Everything is just out. Assessment, nursing diagnosis, planning, implementation, evaluation, everything is just out, like, because this is something you do every single day, so you don't really need to struggle so much. This is the reason why I said it's easier to pass your board exam when you're already working as a nurse. Even if you're 2 weeks, 1 month into working as a nurse, it's way easier for you to pass that board exam compared to when you're not already working as a nurse. With everything I've explained, you guys already know why. Okay, let's talk about the resources that helped me pass my exam in one sitting. First thing on my list here is the CPRNE study guide. So there's this book called, so the exam we write here is called the CPRNE. I don't know if I mentioned that to you. So there is a study guide for it. My friend that wrote the exam before me, that wrote in the writing window we previously booked for before I changed mine, so she gave me her own book. So the book, I think the book costs $100 if you are buying it, but you can always check the Facebook marketplace if you don't have that amount of money to spend on the book, because believe me, you yourself, you're going to write the exam in one sitting. So I don't see why you should spend so much money buying the new book when you can buy it from Facebook Marketplace. But if you cannot buy from Facebook Marketplace, feel free to just have the book. Okay, have the book. So on the study guide has like learning outcomes, things you should know, different topics. Like for digestive system, they tell you like what you should know. Cardiac, they tell you what you should know. Nursing assessment, communication, everything you need to know for the exam, topics you need to cover, everything you need to know. So that's, and also in that book it also has like 4 sets of questions, so 460 multiple choice questions, and the answers and explanation on how they got the answers. Everything is just in that book. I'm going to insert a picture of this book somewhere on the screen so you guys will see I know the book I'm talking about. Okay, so that book, I used it, and that book really helped me pass my exam. The second book I found very interesting were my nursing textbooks, because I use them as a reference point. So whenever I'm studying, even when I'm solving any questions and I do not understand anything, I refer back to my nursing textbooks and I try to read on that topic extensively to be able to understand it, because you cannot just go and cram something and go and write the exam. No, you have to know it. Why is this thing happening? Irritable bowel syndrome, how does it happen? What does it affect? What part of the digestive system does it affect? That you need to know these things, that you need to actually know them, not cram them. When I finished nursing school, I did not sell any of my textbooks. I still kept them, and I'm still not going to sell them even now that I've passed it, because I still go back to make references to them, and still, like, it's a learning process. You keep learning, you don't stop learning. So what I did was, whenever I'm studying, I refer back to the textbooks. So my nursing books really helped me so much to pass my exam. Now the third resource that helps me pass my exam are the quizzes on Yardstick. So Yardstick is the body that is in charge of this proctored exam. So they have like a list of questions from their question bank. I bought these questions, I think they were like 200 or something questions or thereabouts. So I paid a total of $100 to have access to this question. So you can have access to this question for a period of 6 months and it expires. So I bought these questions for $100 and I solved the questions over and over again. And also the questions in the study guide I mentioned as number 1, I solved those questions over and over and over and over and over again. I referred back to the study guide, referred back to my textbooks. So when I talked about the intense study I did 2 weeks prior to my exam, this is all the intense study I did at that time. And mind you, I was working at this time and I was studying so hard for my exam. It was so hard for me, but I still had to do it. So the next material I found very helpful is YouTube. See, YouTube is a university on its own. I call it YouTube University because that is where you learn so many things. I cannot talk about my success in my nursing board exam without mentioning these YouTubers. They helped me pass my nursing school exams. They are still helping me now that I'm a nurse, that I have my permanent license. I'm sure they will keep helping me tomorrow because I keep watching their videos. One of them is Nurse Sarah, registered nurse RN, Nurse Mike at Simple Nursing, Nexus Nursing, Professor D. There's this Nurse Kathy and Nurse, I can't remember their names, but don't worry, I'm going to link their names in the description box and how they really helped me. Like, honestly, YouTube videos, I'm a visual learner, so if just know the kind of learner you are, if you're an audio learner, visual learner, you prefer written materials, just know the kind of learner you are. For me, I'm a visual learner. When I watch something, I do not forget that thing. So it just sticks like glue in my brain. I will not forget it. My retentive memory when I watch something, it retains 100% of that content I watch. That is how much I love learning from YouTube. So these nurse YouTubers really helped me pass my nursing board exam. Apart from these resources I mentioned, another thing that helps me pass, or that helps me channel my attention and concentration to my exam, was me leaving social media. Social media is a very huge distraction for me because most of the time I'm on Instagram yapping, like catching fun, and I get a lot of engagement, and getting all those kind of engagements would make you not to like concentrate on what you're supposed to concentrate on. I'm speaking for myself, I don't know about you, but I had to leave social media. I had to limit communication. Like, I don't want any communication that would linger, that would make me to keep talking and talking and talking when I'm supposed to devote that time to study for my exam. If you're calling me and maybe you're my friend, you're calling me to give me a gist that I don't really need at that time, I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, I would have to talk to you later because right now I'm very busy. And my friends that really love me, that really understood what I was pursuing at the time, they understood and they gave me the space I needed for me to prepare for my exam. So I don't know about you, know what your distractions are. For me, I like gist. So I knew I like gist so much. So all my friends that would come and give me gist, I told them that please, at this point, don't give me any gist because I might want to like ask further questions, and which would waste my time, which would derail me from what is important, what I plan achieving. Okay, so don't give me any gist now. Hold that gist tight. Okay, hold it tight until I'm done writing this exam. Go. So I had to leave social media and I had to leave unnecessary conversations. Another thing that helps me was I had a goal every single day on what to achieve. I had a goal for topics. I have a board in my living room where my TV is supposed to be. There's a board there. Every week I wrote like my target, what I'm supposed to cover, the videos I'm supposed to listen to, the videos I'm supposed to watch, the topics I'm supposed to cover. I knew my gray areas. I knew what I needed to revisit to be able to be ready to write this exam. So I had a goal for topics to cover every single day prior to my exam. Okay, the final part was a prayer. I prayed a lot of not like I don't pray, but whenever I set targets for myself, like I bring out my mommy GO parts. I prayed so hard that period. I told my mom, oh, I'm writing this exam, please intensify. Okay, intensify. I prayed for myself. I told people that were close to me to also pray for me, that I was about to write this exam. Please just remember me in your prayers. A prayer today to my exam. The prayer that was fired on my head, the person watching this will just be smiling. I got a very loaded prayer to writing this exam. And when I told them that I passed, they were like, after all the prayer I prayed, why do you think you'll not pass? So these were the things I did to pass this exam. I've come to the end of this video. If you liked this video, please do well to click on the subscribe button you see below, and you're not going to regret it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm going to catch you guys on another video. Bye.